Kenny Omega had a match against Blake Christian on AEW Dynamite. This was my first time seeing Blake Christian wrestle. He is a wrestler who was in Ring of Honor. So, yes, so this match right here, what I didn't get, because at first I was thinking, I was like, okay, this guy, I've never seen him on AEW Dynamite. They're about to have a 20-minute competitive match, which does not make any sense. That's what I was thinking. But the match, I think, only went for maybe like 5 or 6 minutes. So that surprised me. Maybe AEW is learning that every match doesn't have to be 20 minutes. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes. It doesn't have to be 15 minutes. And then also, this he's unknown to me and probably unknown to a lot of people who watch just AEW and AEW Collision and not Ring of Honor. So Kenny Omega doesn't need to have, a really tough match against someone who is not, a main eventer. So I'm glad that this was not a long match. The thing I didn't get about this match is that this Blake Christian, when Excalibur was saying Christian, I'm like, Christian's not in this match. I'm like, duh, his name is Blake Christian. But anyway, Blake Christian, he is, I think he's talented. I think he was doing a little too much in the ring with giving, Kenny Omega the finger after he like popped up and then he pushed Kenny. Like, I'm like, why? What was the point of that? It didn't make sense. And then also there's one other point or one other part or other moment in this match where Blake Christian went in his pants or he went down his pants and then he licked his hand. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, this does not make any sense. Why is this guy doing this? It doesn't make any sense at all. He was on Ring. He's a regular wrestler from Ring of Honor. So why is he doing all this stuff? They need to cut back on that. Like people, sticking up their, giving people the finger or giving the crowd the finger, and with all this explicit language, they need to cut back on that because there's no shock value because people and well pretty much wrestlers are always doing it, so it doesn't surprise anyone at this point. So anyway, Kenny Omega, he hit two German suplexes and some other slam, and he hit the V trigger, and then he hit his finisher on Blake Christian. He got the 1, 2, 3, and then after that, Kenny Omega was saying he was saying, that there was a promo. Yeah, Kenny Omega was saying, he is going to, he's talking about his match at AEW Dynasty, that he is going to win the match against Ricochet and Speedball Bailey, I believe that's his name. And Kenny Omega said, "I'm going to dominate. I just won this. This is about my legacy. Blah blah blah." And then Speedball comes out, and Speedball, he looks like he's 14 or 15 years old. I'm like, holy cow! I looked it up. He's 34 years old. And Speedball, he seemed really phony when he first started, you know, um, speaking with Kenny Omega. When he first started talking, he was saying, he's going to win this match and he's going to take care of business. No one can stop him. And then all of a sudden, Ricochet pops up on the screen. He was saying that he couldn't be at AEW because he's getting married. And he pretty much was saying that he's going to win the championship. And then Kenny Omega, he finished up the promo, was saying he will win. No one can do anything about it. And he said goodbye and good night. Mwah. Kenny Omega needs to stop doing that. That is cringy. It is it's horrible. Like that, his phrase or whatever you want to call it, he needs to lose that. That is just really not working, and it's kind of just phony and just I don't like it at all. And that was that. So I felt like the match, it wasn't a bad match because they didn't go 20 minutes. Had they gone 20 minutes, I would not have been crazy about the match. But I felt like because it was a short match and the guy got some offense, and but Kenny Omega was able to pretty much dominate. What was funny because when Speedball Bailey came out, Bailey, I think, yeah, Speedball Bailey, when he came out, he was like, when he started talking, I forget exactly what he said. He's like, Kenny Omega, I'm going to do this to you. And Kenny Omega said, oh, yeah? So he's like, kind of comical, and the crowd was laughing as well. So we shall see. Of course, I think Kenny Omega, he's going to retain the title at AEW Dynasty. Take care and have a good one.